Hi my loves, I hope you're all doing well. I wanted to record like a very simple video for you, and it ended up to record like several videos because there's so much going on. And now I created one for you that you can find on my YouTube channel. I would be so happy to connect with you. Give me a follow and watch my newest video, because I'm talking about things that I won't share now here on Instagram, because it's like a very big topic and it's something that I'm working on like for some weeks now, and every minute of my spare time I spend researching in this field, and it's just really like so crazy how everything is so connected, like all of the big events that are popping up right now, of very dark and shadow events, and it's all connected with the universe. And this is what the universe wants us to see, to work through, to transform. And to name one topic, it's about the Epstein case, and most of it not about Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, because they are only like the puppets of it, but the big system that is behind this case. We are here in 2020 at a point like it can go this way, where the universe wants us to go, into the future, into the balance and love and peace and harmony and alignment, into community, and having also back the feminine and all these energies. And if people don't learn and grow, it can go to the other side, what is getting even deeper into abusive power. And this is exactly the topic where 2020 wants us to learn to destroy these abusive powers, to leave the old structures behind, to enter the new. So I will talk like half an hour nearly about these topics on YouTube, because it's right now not only on us and to work through our own things, our own past, but these are like the biggest topic. It's so much behind, and we have to have a focus on it, and we have to give information to others, and to be very aware of what's going on in the world right now. Okay, so these big topics are already like popping up collectively, but also in our individual life, like Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, they are constantly showing us like the darkness and secrets that were hidden and that want to be worked through to create like the transformation and the new. So now Chiron, Chiron is our wound. We call him the wounded healer, because it's like, if we go into like the mythic of Greek, Chiron was like a centaur, and he got wounded, and but he was also like, how do we call it in English? He couldn't die, he was like made for living like forever, but he had this like big wound, and he had to live with this wound. He carried his wound like in his whole life, and out of this he learned to live with the wound, and he gave his wisdom on to other people. So he was kind of a healer as well. And with Chiron, we all have a very own Chiron energy in ourselves that wants to be healed. We all have this wound. And when Chiron starts to wander like backwards again, like over such a long period of time, from Saturday, July 11th until December 15th, we are allowed to not only focus onto our wound, to work it through, to get to know where this wound is coming from, and in order to heal it. But also we have to do it like collectively. And there are so many things I want to tell, like where to start, Like if you talk about Chiron, let's just start with Chiron. So this wound, that we all have, this wound was mostly created in our first years of our life, so it's our childhood trauma. And I deeply believe that this wound is also like connected to our past lives, because especially when we think about our first years, when we like came to this mother planet Earth, you know, we decided in which family we were born in, and also what experience we may have with choosing this life, with choosing this planet, constellation of the planets that you have individually in yourself. So it's connected with our past, and we take this wound into our now, into our life. And it's a wound that is mostly created by our parents, but also in general, from our surroundings. And like this wound can be created out of like a very simple experience, you know, that wasn't that big, but of course also it could have happened like something very, very traumatic in your first years. And this wound, you know, like the thing is, if we don't focus on it and if we don't work with it, we experience our whole life several experiences, topics that are connected with this wound, topics that trigger us a lot, you know, like we are very vulnerable when it comes to this topic, and sometimes we are not even aware that it exists, you know, and this is why we have to take a focus on it. But like again and again, things happen in our life that limit us, because our inner child is like so hurted, you know, that we act in a kind of limiting way in this situation. And so like this will happen again and again and again until this wound is healed. But to be honest, you know, as what we can also learn from like Chiron, from his story as well, you know, is sometimes this wound can't be healed, or sometimes this wound, it takes us several lifetimes to heal this wound, because it's also connected to already other several lifetimes, you know what I mean? So this is something that we just have to be aware that it exists, but we have to live with it. And maybe, yes, maybe we heal with it because we are becoming aware and we give so much love into this situation. And like in every third situation where you are triggered, you know that it's nothing against you or something like that, but it's just your inner child that is so much hurted right now, and maybe you can make other decisions. All right, so we all have individually our very own wound that wants to be focused on, especially in the following weeks and months until December 15th, because this is also the time where everything starts to slowly wander forwards again. So yeah, a big wandering inwards time. And I also think it's very interesting that it happens right now when so many planets are already retrograde. Also Mercury being retrograde in Cancer, I also deeply think that like there's a meaning also that it happens in Cancer season, with like Mercury being retrograde in Cancer, because in Cancer season we connect so much subconsciously with our roots, with our childhood, with our home, with our family, with our deepest and oldest emotions, with our soul, you know. Cancer is ruled by our soul, and it's all about wandering inwards and taking great care of our soul and everything that is connected with it. And also our soul, to understand how or what our soul is, you know. Our soul, like this is like the big wisdom, the big intuitive wisdom of several lifetimes, you know. Like if we talk about it, you know, like every one of us already lived so many lives. So many lives. I talk a lot about it in the Moodiverse Club. So you know, and we already experienced so much, and everything is saved in our soul. So this is why we know intuitively what is good, what is wrong, but we just have to learn to trust our soul and do something for our soul, to nurture our soul. And this is what we are massively allowed in Cancer season. We are still in Cancer season, so it's still about these topics. Also with the following new moon, it's the second new moon in row in Cancer. So there has to be like a big focus on all of these topics. Also with Mercury being retrograde, you know, our mind is wandering backwards again as well, you know, like it's all about these topics. It's about so many experiences that happened in the past that also created our roots of who we are and how we live our life. And if we now go to Chiron being retrograde in Aries, okay, so this is like the collectively topic where we are allowed to heal. You know, like Aries, when we talk about Aries energy, it's a very motivated, fiery, driven energy. It's about creation, about doing things, about getting things done. I always think about the Nike slogan of just do it, you know, and they really are doing things. They get the stone rolling, you know what I mean? So it's very much about, getting into the life purpose as well, you know, like they have great visions and they want to become the person, so they do everything that they impulsively, intuitively think what is right, and they are doer, you know, like they want to create their life. So it's also very much about the ego, about creating the I, the me, you know, who am I and where do I have to go, you know, and it's also very physical. It's our body, you know, like our home here in our body as well. And Aries has like such an empowering energy, you know, like also like the warrior, goddess babe energies of becoming the goddess that I am, you know, and doing everything to reach everything that I want to achieve, you know, like this energy. But also if we have like so much fire and so much power and so much willpower, we really want it, we can also destroy a lot with it. And so like Aries turning wrong, you know, is like it can go into a very aggressive energy as well, also into violence, because we don't get it, for example, or I want to have the power as well, or something like that. And so it can be like very aggressive as well. And if we now like have Chiron, this wound in this topic, so I really see that there are like limitations and wounds in becoming the person that we truly are, you know, like in really going our own way, doing our own stuff of what we think and know and feel what is right for us. And so it's really about all of the limitations and wounds, about stepping into your very own power. And this is mostly also connected with our family, because we grew up in our family and they had expectations about how we should be and stuff like that. But we also have our very own soul and our very own visions that may have been limited because of this. So this is like one topic that we are like collectively allowed to work through. And then the other thing is about the physical and aggressive and abusive power. So I guess like many people are also like right now allowed to heal in all of these topics of sexual abuse. If you think about the Epstein case, you know, like very extreme physical violence that so many people experienced. It's also like very much connected to like all of the physical violence that we experienced over the last few months. When we think about America and Black Lives Matters movement, for example. So many things happened where we are collectively allowed to heal. Have a look at my YouTube video and enjoy it. And I hope that this helps you a lot.